Well, now, I have never been a cat person, more of a dog person. There's just something about a good boy that can't be beat. But I'll admit the allure of a cool cat is undeniable. Like the ones that don't give a hang and do whatever they want. Cats are low maintenance, independent creatures who occasionally grace us with their affection. Just when we think we've got them figured out, they do something crazy, like this cat Whiskers. Whiskers was a scrappy black and white cat who appeared on the campus of Whitendale High School one rainy September morning. He strolled onto the field during football practice, soaked to the bone, completely unbothered, and somehow instantly magnetic. The players stopped their drills to watch him shake off the rain and trot toward the nearest patch of sun. By noon, he'd curled up on the librarian's desk, fast asleep, like he owned the place. It didn't hurt that he looked great doing it either. Within a week, students had stitched him a tiny varsity jacket, and Whitendale had adopted its first ever feline mascot. The trouble started 2 weeks later. Mr. Penbridge, the beloved chemistry teacher, was found dead in his lab. The cause of death: acute chemical poisoning. At first it was ruled an accident, something with a misfired experiment gone wrong. But Whiskers disagreed. Every night he'd slip out to the chemistry wing, prowl the halls, then curl up outside room 17, the classroom of the new substitute teacher, Ms. Clove, who just so happened to have joined the staff days before Penbridge's death. Now, most people probably wouldn't have paid much attention to a stray cat, especially not one in a little jacket. But to the students of Whitendale, Whiskers was more than a mascot. It was a friend, a familiar face. When they saw him spending so much time by the chemistry lab, they knew something was up. One of them, a senior student named Lena Tran, president of the science club and Whiskers' unofficial social media manager, started following his nightly adventures using a tiny collar cam, because of course he had one. As she watched the footage, she noticed Whiskers pawing at a cabinet, specifically a vial labeled chloroacetate. Now that chemical wasn't used in any of Mr. Penbridge's lessons, plus he always kept his vials in alphabetical order. Something about this just didn't sit right with Lena. So she started digging into Ms. Clover, finding out that Ms. Clover's resume had 0 published papers, which was weird because the credentials she listed claimed otherwise. As Lena dug deeper, she found out that Ms. Clove's real name was Clara Klovic, a disgraced former researcher who'd been fired for unethical experiments. And get this, Penbridge had helped expose her years ago. Putting 2 and 2 together, Lena decided to turn her findings over to the police. They searched Ms. Clove's home and found enough evidence to link her to Penbridge's death. She had poisoned his tea with a chemical he wouldn't have recognized had he not been wearing his goggles that morning. Those goggles that were mysteriously sabotaged. To say the town was shaken would be an understatement. Who could have done such a thing? Why and how did the cat know? Well, we may never know for sure. But what we do know is that after that day, students of Whitendale High were eternally grateful for the curious kitty who looked out for them. By spring, the school had erected a bronze statue of Whiskers in front of the library. It bore a simple plaque: Whiskers, mascot, detective, friend. It read, "He always knew who to trust." And from that day on, if you ever saw a mysterious figure with a twitching tail lurking around the science labs, you knew the school was safe. Or maybe it was just a cat being a cat. Either way you decide.